Welcome to my fantastic YouTube reaction, guys. I know I kind of said I'm done with the Scientology stuff, but so many people were messaging me, Ricky, you gotta watch this video, And you do know how I like to put the milk in the bag. So let's continue to do that and watch this Scientology video. So yeah, a lot of people were sending me this. Tommy G, exposing America's most notorious cult. I don't know anything about this guy, apart from he's a successful channel. Should we take a quick look? Night Patrol, Inside of the World, High 6 AM. Yeah, so I guess he's kind of these like YouTube journalism guys that kind of like go to the provocative areas and make kind of like interesting videos. But anyway, apparently this is a really good video. Wow, it really outperformed his other stuff. He's still getting millions of views, but this got almost 4 million views. So it's like his best video in a while. So let's dive right in. Independent journalist, RIP mainstream media. Yeah, we'll see like this kind of like, what do they call it? Like infotainment. This kind of infotainment is like, sometimes they will say that they're not a journalist and they will say they're just making it for entertainment. Then people criticize them if they ever sort of like misconstrue the narrative a little bit. So it is kind of an interesting place. I would say these people are a little bit less journalistic and a little bit more entertainment-y. But nonetheless, I think it will be very fun to watch this. So let's go.
How would you define Scientology?
What a family-destroying human trafficking cult. When you die...
Okay, instantly, what was that, 4 seconds in?
How would you define
I'll try not to pause it too much.
What a family-destroying human trafficking cult.
But this was the guy that we interviewed, the homie, the good homie Aaron. So, shout out to him. I hope he's a lot in the video. 8 seconds
in. It's just your body that died. You as a Thetan just jump into another body.
So I was born in Scientology. From the very first breath that I took, I was in the billion-year contract.
Pledging themselves lifetime after lifetime for a billion years.
A billion might be too many years.
Pat Harney, you gotta relax. This is public, right? You open it up. All are welcome.
I know where that is.
Whoa. Wait, where is the private property line?
You need to leave right now.
Don't touch
private
me.
property.
Don't touch me.
It's private property. You need to leave right now.
How's this TO treating you? We can help you get out if you want to.
Yeah, get out. You're trespassing.
Where's the line?
Okay.
Where's the line?
Pepper spray. Now you get out or I'm done.
Pepper spray. All right, interesting.
Before I begin exposing one of America's most...
So with these kind of videos, I like when they make fun of them and they discuss how stupid it is and like all this stuff. But like, I don't like when they go too far. So like, we'll see how this journalist guy does. But I don't like when they push they push too hard and like kind of like, what am I trying to say? When they like really kind of like harass them and stuff a little bit. I feel like you should beat them on the kind of like intellectual, mental side and not on the like physical push them around side. But let's see how it unfolds. Like I said, I've never watched this guy's kind of video. He's humble legend? Okay, great.
Before I begin exposing one of America's most notorious cults and reveal to you what they do behind closed doors, first let's get you up to speed on what this religion is. Scientology is a religion that was started by L. Ron Hubbard, a man who also happens to have the Guinness World Record for being one of the most published science fiction writers of all time. It's a bit of a complicated religion, so bear with me, folks. It's based on the premise that a galactic overlord named Xenu brought billions of beings to Earth millions of years ago, chucked them into volcanoes, exploded them with bombs, and created creatures called Thetans, which essentially is this invisible spirit that attaches itself to you and is responsible for all of the negative things in your life, ranging from anxiety, addiction, emotional pain, and more. And the only way to remove these pesky Thetans from your body is to follow L. Ron Hubbard's foolproof process. His methods involve paying boatloads of money to the church for courses called auditing classes, and even signing yourself up for a lucrative billion-year contract to the church. This cult has a shocking list of charges against it made by former members who allege the following. From the age of 2 on, you sometimes saw your parents only once a week.
Yeah.
I remember we had one nanny, she was like 16 years old and she was like stuck with like infants. Like
it was, that whole thought process pretty much just stopped at the point where I was like, I don't know what to do about this.
In order to investigate this religion for ourselves, we head to Scientology's 2 main hubs, Clearwater, Florida, and Los Angeles, California. What we find is a world guarded by secrecy. We have numerous clashes with church security, we hear heartbreaking stories from former members who were born into the religion, and we observe how Scientology has put a stranglehold on the city of Clearwater. Folks, truth is the most powerful weapon we have against lies, manipulation, and corruption. This is what Scientology does not want you to see. Folks, before I stick my...
Interesting. Cairo just went to like this place, and he went to, I think it was L. Ron Hubbard's birthday celebration, and he literally, so like Cairo now runs the San Francisco organization. He runs the day operations. There's another guy that runs the night operations, and he won like it. I'll pull up the photo right now. He won a thing that is literally the same as this. He wins like an award. The photo is crazy. It literally looks like this. Like, let's see if I can get it real quick. Okay, so this is the article, tonyortega.substack.com. So it's the L. Ron Hubbard celebration, and he's kind of saying which people were there and stuff. And then look at this photo. Look at this. It's crazy. Like, what the heck is that? When I seen this photo, I was like, oh, no. What is this? Like a blanket? I think there's one more. Yeah. He's looking, you know, in his YouTube videos, he looks very weathered. He could put on good makeup or something because he's looking good there. A good Photoshop. I don't know. I just seen that and I was like, oh my gosh, crazy. And he's like sitting up the front, whatever. Where's his skateboard? And not there. Absolutely not there. Anyway, sorry. So fake looking. Yeah, I just thought it was crazy. It just tripped me out to see that.
And corruption. This is what Scientology does not want you to see. Folks, before I stick my boot up Scientology's ass, I got an announcement for you. These sweatshirts that have sold out many times, we finally restocked. We also have a gray version right here, a new colorway. And also one of my favorite t-shirts we ever made.
Shout out to the homie doing good work. Support the clothing.
ConnorJimMcGee.com. See you guys there.
That's where the money for the warehouse went. Trades a skate park for a statue. Yeah.
Between Clearwater and Los Angeles, this is where Scientology is primarily located. We're going undercover to start this operation, and we'll be boots on the ground here in Clearwater, Florida.
I love boots on the ground content there. Respect. It ain't
you guys
easy.
Get $50 a week. Yeah. They need a union in Scientology, huh?
It feels like we're in like a nuclear testing town almost.
But look, like the Scientology people on the roof right there, maybe trying to sign $1 billion contract to Sea Org for $50 a
$1 billion?
week.
Damn, vaping? The Scientologists I knew did like smoking. No vape, but cigarettes.
Helping people who have been abused or defrauded by Scientology.
This is Mark Bunker, a journalist, activist, city councilman, and Clearwater resident who spent over 2 decades fighting against Scientology. While many others would fold under the harassment and intimidation campaign that the church used on him, he has refused to be silenced. We pick him up and drive around Clearwater, and he helps us navigate Scientology's territory. Is there a place where they're a gathering place where they want to bring me in to tell me more about it?
There's a welcome center.
Alright, my predictions is he will try to join the low-level stuff. He will try to film sneakily, but they will realize he's filming and he will not be able to film any kind of meaningful-esque stuff. So what the thing with Scientology is, from what I understand, is like the low-level stuff that he'll be able to access, let's say within a year of being in the church, is very disconnected from the high-level, higher people stuff. So the low and the high people will like never really cross paths. So even if you join for like literally like a year, I feel like you wouldn't get anything too interesting.
This is the Hacienda Gardens, and this is where the Sea Org members live. They signed a billion-year contract
Thank you,
to
Miss
work
Mouse.
for Scientology. The trees are going to cover up one area, or level
Run
into
smoke cigs.
right here.
I mean, I feel like it's more like in jail. You're not allowed to do drugs or drink alcohol, but they let you smoke cigs, right? It's kind of like that vibe.
Miscavige lives behind those trees.
We would be kept up all night and sleep for a few hours under our desk. Basically, any little sense of joy that you had, there were people marching around trying to take it away.
My name is David Miscavige, and I was born and raised in Scientology.
Okay, well, that's not a good frame to pause on. Sorry. Jenna Miscavige is David Miscavige's, I don't think it's daughter. I think it's niece or something. And she's also in my little group of homies that I have befriended, the Aaron and Natalie. And then Jenna is also in their kind of like content creator gang. So that's cool we can learn more about her now.
I left when I was 22 years old.
This is Jenna Miscavige. She was born into Scientology and is the niece of David Miscavige, the man who seized power of the church in 1987 after L. Ron Hubbard died and has ruled the church with an iron fist, allegedly, ever since. This is kind of like if Kim Jong-un's niece fled North Korea, lived to tell the tale, and we got to interview her.
That would be crazy. Leahy, yes, I am back in the USA, and we are back to the milk business.
Her
watching
life was tightly
Scientology.
Controlled.
Everyone told me to watch this video.
Indoctrination, physical labor, and emotional manipulation. Here's what she had to say.
When I was 9 years old, I did what Scientology calls a purification rundown, where I had to be in a sauna for 5 hours a day. Yeah, and I would get like bloody noses even, but you have to keep going until you achieve whatever it is they want you to. Like, you have to voice something that's the result of that program, or else you have to keep doing it, basically.
Well, my name is Serge. I grew up in Scientology.
And after surviving a period of horrific neglect as a child, the church began to groom him to be a rising star of their auditing team. Auditing, by the way, is one of the main exercises of this religion. It's the practice of someone getting relentlessly questioned until they are able to release painful or traumatic thoughts.
The sailing uniforms are ridiculous. Low-key, I kind of like the uniform. Obviously, it's stupid or whatever, but from a design point of view, the stupid vest, the blue vest thing, it actually kind of looks lit. Like, low-key.
Thoughts that they may be holding on to, believing that once they do that, they can free
They're pretty
themselves
aesthetic,
of
because
this
they got
negative
money to burn, right? Like, they have so much money to burn because all the people are giving so much money, and like, you know, they can only like hoard so much money with the property and stuff, so they can spend money on shit like
baggage
that.
they are holding on to. This
They're
is
getting
his
to me,
account
yeah.
of what he experienced.
The kids go from the very bottom.
Yeah, I believe the history with L. Ron Hubbard was a dishonorable discharge from the Navy, I think. Or like he tried to do something and failed. It was some kind of negative thing. He definitely wasn't like a Navy war hero that they like try to make him out to be. But for some reason he really liked the Navy, and later on he makes the Sea Org people all live on a boat and kind of like pretending they're in the Navy
of the
vibes.
org board, which is like the maids, the ones that
Okay, yeah, this is interesting too. I don't want to pause it too much, but this they call like an org board. When Cairo went to business school and he came back one of the times, he was telling to me, he's like, oh yeah, I made this thing, it's called an org board. I remember him saying this, but this is basically just a business structural thing. But he had one of this for Braille, and it said like here, like merchandise, video production, website, game. It had like all the different things, and then like the different people in the divisions. I thought that was funny that he showed me. Probably I was maybe one of the only people that ever got to see that. I remember him showing me. Damn, yeah. But I don't know, like, to me, that's pretty normal. Like, any company has, like, a company structure. It was basically just the company structure.
are like 14-year-olds doing the beds.
Was business school Scientology? Yes.
Booking rooms at the hotels, right? They recruit all the little young ones because they can have them do anything.
As a 12-year-old, basically, they put me into full-time training. So I was basically studying full-time. In Scientology, they would just call it an auditor. And then at one point that switched where I changed to be training to be the person who trains auditors.
So I did the interview with Aaron. I would recommend watching some of his other videos where he talks about his life. It's actually really, really, really interesting. But yeah, Aaron Smith Levin.
His mom got him into Scientology at an early age, and after being pushed to drop out of public school at only 12 years old, he spent most of his waking hours working for the church. Now all grown up and free from the cult, he is one of Scientology's most active critics, known for his YouTube channel Growing Up in Scientology.
I worked full-time for Scientology from the age of 12 to 26. I was taken out of school to work full-time for Scientology. I never went to high school. I don't have a diploma or anything like that.
Aaron's brother and I become like these child prodigies that David Miscavige and Shelley were very obsessed with because we completed the metering course and got a license. We were the first kids that were able to read the e-meter.
For reference, an e-meter is a sort of primitive lie detector that Scientology uses during auditing sessions to see if you are telling the truth. If an e-meter indicates to an auditor that you may be hiding something, even your darkest secret, you will be questioned again and again and again until you reveal that thought.
Perfectly.
The one thing I'll say about the e-meter that I think is interesting is the way that your brain works, right, is like there's like electrical signals in your brain and like all this kind of stuff. The sort of like human understanding of the brain is like somewhat limited, is my understanding, that they don't know exactly what each electrical thing does or not. I thought the e-meter, it actually does read the electrical signals, but no one has ever like fully, like exposed the scam or whatever, or like figured out how it works. But it does like actually register the electricity. So I think you know, maybe you could watch videos from Aaron Smith 11 about it, but like something is happening, something related to your brain, but it's like they don't really fully, like there's obviously no, you know, legitimacy. It's like a lie detector. I mean, kind of. Lie detector is more reading your heart rate and stuff like that, whereas this is like something to do with the electrical pulses. And I also think lie detector in general is just like not very good at all. So like, but it's more accurate than this, is what I understand. And yes, Aaron still has me blocked. Shout out, first time chatter.
Perfectly on a video and get a pass by David Miscavige, which was like the biggest deal in the world at the time.
You weren't just born into any family in Scientology, the Miscavige family. Of course, in attempting to get both sides of the story, we sent multiple interview requests to Scientology to speak to David Miscavige or a media representative. But due to the disastrous feedback they get when they do speak publicly, the church quite simply does not do interviews. In fact, David Miscavige has only done one interview with a journalist.
You want to fight a gorilla? For the record, 100-man versus gorilla. Gorilla's done. Come on. Let's be adults here. You think gorilla beats 100 men? Absolutely not.
With Ted Koppel back in 1992.
You realize there's a little bit of a problem in getting people to talk critically about the Church of Scientology because, quite frankly, they're scared.
Oh, no.
And since then, and for over 30 years, he has been radio silent except for totally scripted and bizarre Scientology-made media that looks like this.
Whatever you have heard, if you haven't heard it from us, I can assure you, we are not what you expect.
Why was the voice so weird? All right, so Scientology filmed these like, you know, propaganda tutorial videos things. They actually filmed them here in Los Angeles. And Los Angeles, home of the aspiring actors, I actually am on some kind of list, and it always emails me and says, apply for these. Yeah, look, it's literally in my inbox right now. Gold Era Project number 13, non-union. Should I like apply for some of them and try to get a Scientology job? And then the internal people of Scientology, maybe one day, one person will be watching some video and then I'm just like an extra in it. Imagine Aaron watches it. Hey, Cairo, can you please approve these videos? And it's just Rick like sitting at the desk. Maybe I'll try. I'll apply to some. It'll be so funny. It'll be insane. And like I'll get paid and shit as well. Like I would never be able to film anything. Maybe I could try to be sneaky or whatever. There's probably some kind of law against that there. But that would be sick, yeah. I'll apply to some. I literally get them all the time because they're filming shit all the time. I'm pretty sure they have their own production studio. Like that's how much they film those things. But I mean, maybe if I was an extra, I would see it on the site. Yeah, true. Then I could actually react to it and shit. I definitely should try to do that. Okay, I will expect to do this.
For a man that
but maybe they'll look into me and
like a
be
big
like, oh,
tough
no.
guy, little David folds like a long chair.
Because in these kind of things, it'll be like, if you're mentally stressed, having trouble in your relationship, and there'll just be people going like, you know, like shit like that. Like I could be one of those people.
When it comes to any sort of accountability or questions from the public. But there may be a reason for that. Here are some of the allegations against David.
You have written a whole book about your son. And
this guy's also really interesting.
Yeah.
David's
very aggressive style and a tendency to violent outbursts that are physical in nature.
And to give you an idea of what type of guy he is, just look at what he did to his own parents that left Scientology. He and the church published hit piece websites about his parents, claiming his dad to be nothing more than a pots and pans salesman who punches his wife, and also adding that he lied about his book, saying that he was not in prison, he was not starved, and he did not have to escape from the church. And then he made his stepmom out to be a lying gold digger who wants to exploit her stepson for fame. My guy Keegan did some digging and found out that after David's parents escaped the church, they eventually settled down in West Allis, which is only 10 minutes from us in Milwaukee. He FOIA requested West Allis police records and found that Scientology paid a private investigator $10,000 a week to tail his dad and give hourly reports on his activities and whereabouts. This private investigator was found with a gun, silencer, and over 2,000 rounds of ammunition in his trunk. Stalking people with private investigators is allegedly a favorite tactic of this lovely church and shows you
Did you hear the post-production allegedly just then?
People with private investigators is allegedly a favorite tactic.
Is allegedly. I don't think they do this that much anymore. I think this was pre-internet age. Now with the internet age, you can't suppress information anymore. Shout out to the internet for that. But you can't really suppress information like you used to be able to. So the whole point of the private investigator would to be like really terrorize someone and kind of suppress them from like talking to the media or anything. But like these days, it's like some shit happens that the whole internet sees rapidly.
of this lovely church and shows you just the tip of the iceberg of how much Scientology tries to ruin your life if you leave the religion or try and speak out against them.
I don't know how many people they squeeze into one apartment. 8 to 12, I believe.
From the outside, it looks like a normal Florida apartment complex. What they are is 2 and 3 bedroom units where you've got like 4.
I mean, like, this is maybe where Cairo was staying in business school. Damn. Oh, it's gated as well.
4 bunk beds in the living room, 4 more bunk beds in each bedroom. Like, you could be fitting like 15 people, easily 15 people into a unit. Like, it's illegal.
They'll charge you for the apartment, for the food, for this, that, and the other thing. So if you leave, there are people who leave with $100,000 bill.
Do I talk to Aaron? No, he blocked and ghosted me, never fired me, and he will never talk to me ever again. He's consistent in his beliefs. He'll never talk to me again, is my understanding. So no, I do not still talk to him. I open an invitation to talk to him privately, on stream, anything, at any time, of course, even text.
Or more.
I don't think you will.
I was born in Scientology. From the very first breath that I took, I was in the billion-year contract wrapped up because my parents had been recruited to go to the AF. My parents are from North Mexico. I grew up in appalling conditions. In Mexico, the cadet org was disgusting. It was like 100 kids. I remember we had one nanny. She was like 16 years old and she was like stuck with like infants. Like, my sister also grew up there. And I remember still like her being in a crib, you know, like with full of urine, like no care for the babies at all.
Folks, we gotta emphasize.
Did Aaron ever hang out with Steve Barrett or talk about him? They're both Scientologists. That's what I always thought was very interesting, is because Barrett and Cairo were both Scientologists. Cairo is much higher and much more active in his Scientology endeavors, whereas Barrett is like his public information about Scientology was he was doing stuff in the past, but then we don't really know. But I asked Cairo about it once when we were still on good terms, obviously, and then he was kind of saying that he's saying that he never saw Barra there or anything except for one time, and they saw each other in a hallway or whatever and walked past. But I always thought that they should like stick together, or like you would think that they would be friends. Like you'd think that it would be like us versus the world, you know, 2 prominent skate people or whatever in Scientology. But I don't know. I always thought it was kind of strange.
Imagine this, dozens of babies in a room, many of them crying, needing to be held, sitting in their own dirty diaper, and just one overwhelmed teenager caring for them, allegedly. It's sickening, and the reason, allegedly, this is done is because good old L. Ron Hubbard basically believes that babies should be treated like adults, and they don't need any special sort of care or attention.
From the age of 2 on, you sometimes saw your parents only once a week.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
So my parents worked for Scientology's most dedicated group called the Sea Org, the Sea Organization. They signed a contract pledging themselves lifetime after lifetime for 1 billion years to servitude to Scientology. It meant that they worked like 115-hour weeks. They got little to no time off.
Kids that were born into the Sea Org were taken care of.
I don't like this narrative. Both died at the same time. Maybe the funding dried up. Braille was getting 0 funding from Scientology. The only thing is that Cairo was making a lot of money in his personal life giving money to Scientology. There's no like Scientology saying, hey, make a video about a glass board. Hey, do this, do that. It's like, it's completely separate. I asked this guy when we talked, I said, what do you think about someone who works for a Scientology-based business? And he said in Clearwater, Florida, a Scientologist has a super successful business doing some kind of printing stuff. And he said it has, you know, hundreds of employees, whatever, lots of non-Scientologists work for it. He's just like, it's just a normal business, and the person happens to be a Scientologist. That's what Braille and Barracks both were. It's just their personal lives or whatever. So it kind of annoys me when people always think super conspiratorial things like that, when it's more just like, you know, if Cairo was addicted to drugs or whatever, there's no drug company telling him, oh, you should make a video like this, you should do that. It's just he was addicted to drugs, wasted all his money on drugs, whatever, you know what I mean? I think of it as that simple. I don't think it's conspiratorial like people kind of think.
By nannies.
They got little to no time off.
Kids that were born into the Sea Org were taken care of by nannies. They didn't see their parents. They were lucky they saw them for an hour a week.
What are the benefits of doing all this? Why would someone devote their life to this?
When you're doing it, you think that you're dedicating yourself to an amazing cause. You think that you're like saving mankind.
Interesting. Did you see that photo?
To an amazing cause. You think that you're like saving.
I always find it interesting. Why is this person blurred out? Why not these ones? But this one is. What happened? Why?
Mankind, and it's sort of like the greatest purpose you could have.
And our parents were in this mission to save the world, right? It's like they're all like stuck in this like, you know, job that they were doing for Scientology that they were prioritizing over their newborns, basically.
Well, they really believe they're saving the planet. This is like a mind control factory.
We wanted to get our feet wet with Scientology, so we went to their welcome center where they were selling the Diagnetic books, and I happen to know after doing some research that a lady named Pat sat at the front desk, and she was actually a media liaison. So I thought she'd be a good person to talk to. Here's how this mission went. Good morning.
I never crossed paths with Jason Lee. I believe Jason Lee quit Scientology quite a while ago. There's actually, I was trying to think how I saw it, but I think there's like a website, like a blog or something that his ex-wife wrote about him while he's still in Scientology that is pretty interesting, that is out there. But he quit a long time ago, and like, so they never had anything to do with each other. But I always thought it was kind of interesting that Braille would get so much heat for Scientology, and then Jason Lee, Barra, Costin would never get any heat, really, like really pretty much never. Like no one would say, I mean, Jason Lee quit now, but no one would say like, oh, you're riding for stereo, you're funding Scientology. I don't know. I always thought it was interesting. Maybe the blood person was that girl or someone else who got out. I think if they were out, they would want to be in the photo. I don't know. Anyway, let's see how he goes talking to this lady.
Good morning. Oh, I'm a travel vlogger.
No filming.
Oh, I'm just a travel vlogger. Pat Harney, you gotta relax. This is public, right? You open it up. All are welcome. L. Ron.
See, like, you hear what he just did then? What he did then was trying to, like, assert dominance. He walks in, hey, can I do a book, blah, blah, and then he just said her full name. Like, chill, dude. Don't do that. Be respectful, I feel like. Make fun of them, make the expose video, but still be, like, a little bit respectful on the sort of, like, human-to-human level, I feel like.
Pat Harney, you gotta relax. This is public. Pat Harney, you gotta relax. This is public, right? You open it up. All are welcome. L. Ron Hubbard.
And who is L. Ron Hubbard?
He is a science fiction, Western fantasy author, born in 1911 in Tilden, Nebraska. He is a guy who lived an amazing life, but was a pathological liar and a con man. He basically created Dianetics as sort of this like poor man's psychotherapy, and then a few years later created Scientology.
Hey there, how you doing?
He's got body
I'm just
cam?
trying to buy a book, sir. And why does no one here answer questions?
Come over here.
Can I buy a book first?
Private property, you can, but you can buy it out here.
Are you like a leader here?
Can you please come outside?
Are you a Sea Org member?
Can you please come outside?
I will come outside if you can answer like 3 questions. I would love to come outside.
Come outside, please. This is private property.
Hey, Elron.
But see, this is the thing. Like I say, maybe they say I'm too much of a simp for the rules and stuff. This guy is right. It is private property, and they have asked him to leave. You know, it's a private business. You can refuse sale to anyone if you want. So, like, to be fair, you know, obviously super shady. Hey, your religion's not that cool if nothing's happening and you're going all crazy. But still, like, I don't know. I feel like you gotta play by the rules a bit.
Come outside, please. This is private property.
Hey, Elron. All right, Pat, have a good day. I wish we could have talked more, honestly. Hey, guys, they're not really open to the public anymore. We have their Agent Smith coming.
Can you come up?
Oh, no. Agent Smith, what got you into Scientology? Oh, sorry, I'm just...
Can you watch out, sir?
Hold on, I'm standing still. He's taking a picture. I'm trying to pose. I don't want to...
I believe the rules of filming in a private business, I guess this is Florida-based, but I believe if the business tells you no, you're not allowed to film. Even if it's a public business, you're not allowed to film if they ask you not to, I think. It was the first time you ever tried that.
Be a blurry photo.
It is the Welcome Center, yeah, for sure.
The Hacienda Gardens, what time do you think I should
I'm
be
not
by
criticizing
later?
it too harshly.
Do you cookouts or anything like that?
Yeah, Walmart has every right to come up to you and say, don't film. What do you mean, what if it's Walmart? If you film in Walmart and they say, sir, you're not allowed to film in here, you have absolutely no right to film in there. It's a private business. They can just kick you out, ban you for life if they want. There's no inherent owing you to film.
Yeah, something like that.
I bet you guys would actually enjoy...
Check out our website, check out our TV channel, okay? Fantastic.
All right.
People kind of forget that, like, Walmart is not public. Walmart, a singular person owns Walmart. If you lease a store and you open it, you are the same as Walmart. Like, that's the level that it's on. It's not like public place. Every skate YouTuber I've ever watched themselves getting kicked out of Walmart or Target. Yes, they filmed and they were relaxed on it. That doesn't change like how the law is set up.
They answer no questions. I wasn't allowed to buy the book, which I was genuinely, I would have bought the book. I met Pat at the front.
Basically a PR person here.
Oh, she's the PR person. No one would answer even one question.
Of course not.
Next, we went to the infamous flag building to see if we could infiltrate and see what was going on inside. Unfortunately, a call to the Clearwater Police Department had already been made, and as soon as I touched the doors, I turned around and saw the police waiting for me. Looks like the police may have been called.
Man, see, I'm... this video got me siding with Scientology way too much. Like, he's not allowed, like, he's not welcome in the building. You can't break in. Of course they call the police. Like, he's trying to break into a private building. He's not welcome there. You know, like, I like when you attack at the intellectual level. You do things by the law, the letter of the law, and you win because you're the good team. You don't lower yourself to the breaking and entering. Like, if he broke and entered and filmed it and put on YouTube, yeah, maybe we learned some more interesting things about Scientology. But at the same time, is like, you can't do that. Like, that's not good. I don't condone that. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know.
I turned around and saw that the Clearwater Police Department had already been made, and as soon as I touched the doors, I turned around and saw the police waiting for me. Looks like the police may have been called and are following us.
There was a call on a van, a suspicious vehicle, so.
A suspicious vehicle?
You guys can film all you want, but just don't antagonize them, I should say. Otherwise, they're gonna do a criminal trespass on you. So that means if you step foot on any of their property, you go to jail. It's silly.
But right now, I'm really just trying to talk to one Scientology member that'll answer.
Yeah, don't break into their house. I don't know. I feel like he's being a little bit unreasonable. Cop was being super reasonable. Hey, bro, I don't like Scientology either. Do whatever you want, say whatever you want, but like, don't actually commit crimes because then I'll actually have to arrest you. Like, why don't you just not do that?
What is it like living in a city that's dominated by Scientology?
It's horrible. When we see them, they're marching in line like zombies, you know, down the street.
What do you think about them owning $200 million worth of real estate?
I mean, if that's what they want to do and they're not hurting anybody else.
This is in Florida.
They're American citizens.
Well, they bought that whole block, 2 blocks, I believe, and then across the street, too.
They pay their taxes.
They're tax exempt.
Well, I disagree with that. Elon Musk needs to get on that. It needs to be looked at.
Elon.
Stelflip subbed for 7 months.
Yo, thank you so much for the sub. Welcome in. We were watching this fantastic Scientology video. That was funny. Little Elon shout out.
Investigated, and someone to make a good decision on that, and that's going to be President Trump.
Nobody knows anything.
Is the town trying to do something?
Man, imagine if Trump did that. Imagine if Trump just goes, you know what? Scientology not tax exempt anymore. Holy shit, can he do that? I think he can, right? Executive order? Fuck you, L. Ron Hubbard. That would be crazy. That would be something.
That's going to be President Trump.
Nobody knows anything.
Is the town trying to do something to...
The commissioners are, but what can you do?
Scientology.
If I lived in that town, I would simply leave. I would admit defeat and be like, okay, this place is fucked now. I hate what has happened, but I don't think it's worth me living here.
Secretly buying up all the property downtown here in 2017.
Trump
I was
wants to
working in
abolish
hotels, I was doing demolition, I was doing construction, I was doing HVAC.
Damn, look, again, absolutely fire fit they've got on. What a sick logo.
I was doing construction.
Look, I'd rock that. Scientology volunteer minister. And then what does it say? Thrasher under there.
Construction, I was doing HVAC.
Volunteer minister.
And I was there with several hundred kids from all over the world. I was working 7 days a week, 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night, 365
Bro's pro
days a year.
Scientology. I know. I gotta stop defending so much. Yeah, fuck you, Elron. But I'm trying to be objective. The crust is trying to confuse people. Yes, another good decision by Scientology. I'm trying to be objective, and like what I say, I don't think you can say, I should be able to break laws to expose them. I don't think you should do that. I think you should beat them on the correct intellectual level.
For 4 years.
So a lot of it was training. A lot of it was cleaning, and we did like laundry and
Another
cleaning the
fire
rooms
fit.
of executives.
Look,
so they
sailor
would
hat.
inspect with a white glove to make sure that we didn't miss anything.
Tom Cruise gives all credit to Scientology.
Scientology has taken over Hollywood and LA. Not really. Like, I fucking live in LA. Like, yes, everyone knows, LOL, there's the Scientology sign. LOL, there's the Scientology building. I would absolutely not say it's taken over LA. You know what I mean? It's just existing. Everyone hates them. They have the worst reputation ever. Like, no one really cares. I don't think we should
Tom Cruise gives all
phrase
credit
it like that
to Scientology for his success. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise because he's Tom Cruise, not because of Scientology.
Every single window is closed. Every single blinds that you could see into is closed at a certain level until it ends. They're a very don't look in here type of a place. What was going through your head when your parents decided we're going back into it?
Since my whole entire family was connected to it, it never left us. So we were still kind of like exposed
Relatives
to
were into it
my
as well.
relatives, all my aunts, all my uncles, all my cousins, everybody. I signed a billion-year contract, and now I'm there for the rest of my life. And my pay was gonna be $50 a week. So I was like, oh damn, I'm 10K and that $50 a week. I'm like, okay, I guess I just have to really make it here.
That's
When
really
I was 12
sad.
years old, I was moved across the country here to Clearwater, and my parents were still in California.
Any part of you say something's not right here, something's really wrong.
I don't think that second part added into it. Not like there's something really wrong. It was, that whole thought process pretty much just stopped at the point where I was like, I don't know what to do about this.
Even the higher up.
I have so much empathy for someone born into it, because like how are you meant to understand that the world is not the world that you think it is? Like, it's so hard if everything in your life is telling you Scientology, and your exposure to the world has only been through Scientology. It's literally so hard to like break out of that. So like, I have so much respect for them. And I think that's why you see the people that are born into it. They never quit when they're 20. They always quit when they're 30. And I think it's because it's like, you really have to go on this long journey to really be able to kind of figure it out. It's like, it's not something you can just be like, oh, I'm 21 now. Oh yeah, this kind of seems fake. There's nothing that seems fake, because it's literally your whole life.
Pretty much just stopped at the point where I was like, I don't know what to do about this.
Even the higher ups, like, yes, they had some things easier, but that's really mostly at the top. I feel like Scientology is like a game of power, and everybody has to report on each other, and that's how you get to the top, is essentially by throwing other people under the bus. That's the only way you can feel important.
The way to happiness? This used to be the Lisa McPherson Trust. This is where we had our offices, right next door to Scientology's OSA, Department of Office of Special Affairs, was right there. The dirty tricks people, right through there. That was my office, right behind these windows here. All locked up. They don't want anyone to see what's going on in there now. Now that they know your cameras are here, this entire several blocks of front groups are shut down.
One thing that comes to my mind when I walk past all these empty buildings that look like they're fully functioning offices, but no one's here.
Right.
It's like North Korea. It's like a very staged play that you're a part of.
Yeah.
Yet when you look, just peek a little bit behind the surface, like there's no one. All the windows are shut. There's no sunlight coming in. There's no one here. Look, they make it look like someone just had a meeting in here, or let's see if there's a front desk right here. This is an office that should be
nice.
Here, or let's see if there's
Let's
a
see
front
the
desk
interior
right here.
design, okay? Let's criticize it. You know what it looks like is one of those IKEA display homes. 2 photos, super generic, 2 lamps, never been turned on, bowl exactly in the middle, never been used. No one's ever put anything in that bowl. Brand new coffee table, random photo. What is that, a cow?
Office that should be 1, 2, 3, 4.
What does the quote say?
Desk right here. This is a
discover people from something when they are doing something to seek help in getting. I wonder if AI could tell us the quote. Probably. Couch a little to the left. True. Little could be a little bit more centered.
office that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this is an office that should have at least a front desk worker.
Oh, drugs. Yo, we gonna talk about drugs in this lit room? Yeah, all the rooms are very aesthetic and beautiful. Like a little reception. It's like a doctor's office.
Drugs.
What is that?
None of this has anyone in it. No city on earth feels the negative effects of Scientology quite like Clearwater, Florida. Some fantastic reporting by the Tampa Bay Times reveals how the church has taken over the city. In 1975, the church purchased the Fort Harrison Hotel and made this their headquarters. Over the decades, the church began acquiring real estate at a ferocious pace, scooping up property after property. Since then, they've poured hundreds of millions into more than 200 buildings.
I think somewhat recently there was like a court case where Scientology was trying to buy like the whole street or something, and then the people were protesting, and like Aaron Smith Levin was probably super involved in that as well, because that's where he's from too. And they were like going back and forth, like if Scientology could buy the whole street or something, and then the city said no, I think.
Owning the majority of the Clearwater downtown. Mind you, this is with tax-free money because somehow the IRS lost their balls when confronting the church, ruling in 1993 Scientology to be a tax-exempt religion. The weird thing is they've left most of the buildings vacant, turning Clearwater into a sort of North Korean ghost town. The question is why? Insiders speculate
maybe it's
because
good for
they want to
there.
show a dominant presence, but the truth is they simply do not have the numbers of people to occupy these buildings, and it's no surprise. Their peak membership numbers were before the internet, but now that their practices are widely publicized, they are unable to recruit new members and are slowly going extinct. But even as a dying empire, they still...
Imagine if you're just like hardworking Scientologists, kind of like Kyra or whatever, and then like it's day and day and day and day, no one joining, and then finally someone joins. It must be so exciting for them. Like imagine if like one person joins per month and you've gone like 25 days no joins, and then someone comes in, hey, oh, I'm interested. They're probably like so fucked up.
Have a great deal of power over Clearwater, and they are crushing the businesses in the downtown. Just take it from Tony, a local entrepreneur who is facing dire financial circumstances because of the church.
So this is obviously our place. We start off with the Nash keys, and between like bureaucracy and stagnation, we had harassing phone calls about us not being part of the community, to get out of the town, even death threats later.
Let's get
But it took us 3 years to get these places open, a year and a half of permitting. More walls than you can imagine were being put up for us, but we got open.
When you say death threats, tell me more about that.
Death threats meaning like poisoning, harassing to get the f out of the town. That
someone tried poisoning you?
No, they allude to that they're going to poison me.
Describe what's happened to this block over time, and how Scientology has impeded local business from thriving.
The way they actually affect it is that the negative stigma that has on it, the overbearing control and presence that they portray. They like to portray like a sense of unity that is disheartening to most of the community.
Is that their bus behind us?
Absolutely. They're more organized than our government.
And their bus windows are blacked out.
Yes, they have very weird things that they do. I've seen a bunch of strange things. This is it. It's a two-story club.
It is nice, and in the evening times, I've seen this place just booming.
If you want to fight against the empire of Scientology, come into this local business, spend some
that's
money,
his club.
get a cigar, get a drink,
What up, Billy?
meet this handsome fella right here.
Let's take that Clearwater, $1 at a time, like you just said.
Do you remember what feelings were going on in your head as a 5-year-old that led to the paint thinner?
We had no one to go to. Like there was no adults around. Like all the adults were compromised. So in 1986, L. Ron Hubbard ends up dead, and because they had seen that a lot of people had left the Scientology because they were treating them so horribly, they would always come back with this amnesty. We're gonna forgive you for all the suppressive acts you committed. If you come back, if you write them down, then we'll forgive you, and then pretend they didn't happen. So that's when my parents got roped back in. They said, you're a suppressive because you blew because your child almost died. Oh no, we're gonna forgive you for having left without permission.
To really see what's going on in Hacienda Gardens, we got a drone operator that's gonna be able to show us what's happening and also show us their real estate holdings. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you. Big fan. This is crazy. Did
Appreciate
not expect
you,
this
man.
today.
Oh, if you could go over to where the pool is, then that will help orient me a little better.
I would be scared to do this.
You want to turn around?
Yeah, straight up there. Yeah, and go to the end. That was where.
Right here? That was
the
Dave's?
end one, yeah. And my mom.
That was the
And that
penthouse
ending.
suite there?
It was just
Darren?
4 condos, and there would always be a security guard posted, sitting across the way looking.
Imagine we just see Kyra walk past.
You think it's a blocker?
That's the only thing I can think of, because they'll let me go up, but it won't let me go back down to where I was.
Interesting.
It's really odd.
And you lived in these apartments for how long?
No way they could have some technology like that. That seems too advanced.
Years as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember which block you lived in?
Multiple blocks, but one of the last ones was this one right here.
And you really can't get out unless they let you out. Like, we would have to come out and tell them what we were doing. Like, if it was on one of the mornings where we would do cleaning. And
Alien
if we wanted
tech?
to, like, go to the gas station or something like that. we'd have to
Like, even
talk.
going for a walk
That's
outside?
the thing, like a normal apartment complex, you know, the magnetic doors, you know, like if you have gates and magnetic doors, usually you can get out. You might need a key to get in. You cannot get out of this apartment complex.
Yeah, this is the guy I interviewed, Aaron Smith-Levin.
Is that D
You hear
block?
he just
Why
said he
can't I
used to
read
live
it?
there?
Yeah, that's D block.
Okay, so I lived here in D block.
Yeah.
Like
so
towards-
interestingly, they actually turned the camera away from us.
Oh, that's weird. Anyway, so I lived at the end of D block in like the lower levels. They actually had fixed these ones up to be a little bit nicer.
Would you be surprised if they had vehicles patrolling?
I'm sure they have vehicles patrolling.
Are they that paranoid?
Yeah. I mean, David Miscavige takes his security as seriously as a head of state.
The car's getting in. Let's get in.
Oh my god, I'm scared. I'm actually worried. Don't do it.
Hey, we got a meeting with David Miscavige. Go. Hey, look at the flashing. Go back. Hold on.
Instantly.
Hold on.
Whoa!
Sir,
He's clip farming.
Sir, please.
He's definitely clip farming.
Sir, please. Oh, sir.
Oh no, my arm! Commit to the bit.
1, 2,
Break
3,
the arm.
4,
then sue.
Maybe 5 cameras on us right now.
How long were your parents out before they went back in?
What was this? Like maybe like 3-4 years. Then L. Ron Hubbard dies. They go back to Mexico. They get recruited back in again.
Was their life terrible outside of Scientology?
My grandparents were chill. My grandparents were normal people.
So what would have possibly motivated?
The cross is the Scientology logo.
For 3 or 4 years.
Scientology caters to a narcissistic personality because the thing is, it promises superiority. It promises you're going to be better than everyone else.
Did you ever get to confront your parents about that or ask them, are they still in it?
No, my parents aren't in Scientology anymore, and they think Scientology is horrible, and they've said that it's like the biggest regret of their life.
How was it escaping Scientology?
Well,
why is it 60 Minutes Australia? Should I watch this 60 Minutes Australia thing?
Of their life.
How was it?
That's the logo. There's like a few logos, but that's one of them. The cross, like modified cross.
Escaping Scientology.
Well, I guess the thing is that in Scientology, you know, at certain levels of management, they actually won't let you leave. Like the area will be surrounded by gates and they won't let you out the door. If you manage to leave, they'll chase you. Because when you leave, people who are in Scientology are no longer able to speak to you. You can't get a job at a Scientology company. Like in my case, I didn't know how to drive. I didn't have a bank account.
Damn.
And so your livelihood actually getting a job depends on you being connected to these people, or you lose every family member. And so while you can just walk away, that's like totally deceiving. You risk losing everything that's important to you if you do.
I got it in my head that we wanted to storm the Celebrity Center, which is the place that the highest ranking and most influential Scientologists go. Actors like Tom Cruise and John Travolta, and businessmen like Grant Cardone. So I wanted to see for
Grant
myself
Cardone is an interesting one. I've watched a little bit of
Tom
like
Cruise and John Travolta,
motivation business bro videos of him, and he seems like the worst person ever, honestly. But he's pretty. It's interesting because he's very public figure, and he's kind of like always taking criticism and stuff. So then for him to be public Scientologist is kind of interesting, because then people say Xeno and shit to him, and he's like, haha, yeah, haha.
Like Grant Cardone. So I wanted to see for myself what was behind these walls. Here's how that went.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait, where is the private property line?
Don't rush the guard.
Guys, it's private property.
Is
You're on the sidewalk?
He's on private. Oh my God, he's on private property.
Right on the sidewalk?
No, but
you're on private property.
What makes it worth selling your soul for $1 billion years?
Just close. Just move to the sidewalk. That's
Does
what we're
Tom
asking.
Cruise know that you guys work for $50 a week?
What we're asking is just move to the sidewalk. You need to move out here.
Oh, whoa.
Come this way.
Are you?
You need to move off private property.
Why are
But
you
see, like
bumping
this, I
Dragon
don't
on
like.
a Nelly song?
We need you to
Partner?
move off. You're on private property.
Like
How
this
do
is
we
why I'm
talk to
saying
someone-
this is infotainment. Is because like this is not really journalism. Is this guy even a Scientologist? Who even knows? Maybe he just has 5 kids and he's just trying to make money to provide money for his family. You know, like I don't know. It's just this is just pure like, oh yeah, let's make it exciting. Let's rush in. I don't really like. I get it. This is YouTube, you know, but it's like this is not like breaking down Scientology.
Is that
on the sidewalk?
He's on private. Oh my God, he's on private property.
Right on the sidewalk.
No, but
You're on private property.
what makes it worth selling your soul for $1 billion years?
Just move to the sidewalk. That's
Does
what we're
Tom
asking.
Cruise know that you guys work for $50 a week?
What we're asking is just to move to the sidewalk. You need you to move out here.
Oh, whoa.
Come this way.
Are you?
You need to move off private property.
Why are you bumping?
His patch says Church of Scientology Private Security. That doesn't necessarily mean this dude is a Scientologist. But yes, most likely probably is, I guess, for sure. But at the same time, this guy is literally just a security guard. Like, someone tells you to guard something or whatever.
A Nelly song.
We need you to move off.
This
You're
guy's
on
not going to
private
give you the
property,
zenu
How
that
do
you
we
want.
talk to someone from Scientology?
You guys need to leave right now. Get off the property. Get off the property. You're trespassing. You need to leave right now. You need to leave right now.
Don't
It's
touch
private
me.
property.
Don't touch
It's
me.
private property. You need to leave right now. Leave right now. It's private property.
All right, we'll be back. We'll be back.
Sir, just need.
Are
You
you
just
guys
need to be.
pushing me?
Stop pushing me.
You push me.
I see you're on private property. We just need to move off here.
I don't have anything against you guys. I'm just curious what.
trying to help y'all escape.
You can escape. You still can leave. Like to think that you would work 80 hours a week. What makes it worth it? Are the security guys there? Are they Scientologists?
Here we go.
They're actually some of the most important Scientologists. Have you
No, they're not. Who are they talking to?
ever heard of the term OSA? That's the
Oh, okay.
Special
Fair enough.
Affairs. Sort of like Scientology's FBI, CIA, Secret Service, all in one. So they do all the dirty work. They're very high ranking.
Fair enough. I was
If
wrong.
we would have started. We had a fist fight.
That would have been good content.
You would have fucking moved.
With 3 of them?
This is William Jude. When I told Aaron Levin-Smith I was headed to LA to further investigate the church there, he said you gotta meet up with William. Known for his work battling the church on his YouTube channel Scientology Audit LA Streets, William has spent months documenting and battling Scientology. Together, we go on a mission to infiltrate.
I think I've seen this cop before.
William
This is
has
the
spent
Hollywood
months
Boulevard guy.
documenting and battling Scientology.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen this guy.
Together, we go on a mission to infiltrate the church's LA stronghold.
So my name is William Good. I'm an activist out here. Had a beef with Scientology a couple of years ago, and
He isn't investigating, just antagonizing people for views. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying at the start, is that the people that do this kind of videos, it tends to go that way because it's more exciting to watch. It's kind of boring to just look at a spreadsheet and say, look what Scientology did with their money, look at the businesses they own, look at this, look at this. It's kind of very dry and boring. But if you go get kicked out and all this action, then it's way more exciting. So that's kind of what I was saying. And like, it's fun to have a bit of excitement too, but I'm more interested in the actual...
they said some really
side.
crude things to me.
What do they say?
Not the
A
surface.
security guard told me to suck his So I thought that was kind of crude, so I said I'm going to end your religion, and so here we are. So they're working 110
Wait,
hours.
what?
That's kind of me.
He dedicated his life after saying, suck my cock?
A security guard told me to suck his So I thought that was kind of crude, so I said I'm going to end your religion, and so here we are. So they're working 110 hours a week for nothing.
No, he dedicates his life on the pettiest
They're
shit.
slaves, and a lot of these
Hell
people
yeah.
come from other countries, right? So they bring them here on religious visas.
Mike, this is more antagonizing than the other ones he did. Started out doing YouTube prank, then moved over to this and blew up.
And then once we get here, they take their paperwork away, so now they're stuck.
Should we visit one of their plantations?
Sure. Let's go for it.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah, this is Hollywood.
So let's just drive by there real quick so I can just show you how to go about doing it.
His latest video is
Then
really
park
good.
a
This
few
one is
blocks
rough.
away,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then-
sometimes, especially when you're posting
Are you
so
gonna-
much,
if you walk in
sometimes
with your
they're
cameras,
hit and miss.
Yeah. There's no chance. Because
But like we said, this did better than his other
I
videos.
have to hug the wall so they don't see me. The minute she sees me, she goes, they will literally run in there and close the door.
We got our guy, Cheddar, aka Texas Buzz, back for another investigative piece. You may have seen him in the Sex Money Murder piece in Dallas, where he infiltrated the prostitution ring. Now we're sending you into Scientology, man. Yeah. How do you feel?
I don't know too much about this, so you know, we're just gonna go in there and be genuinely curious, like what's going on.
I think that's the perfect approach. It's gonna be similar to the Clearwater bookstore, so we want to get a fresh perspective. So, Chenna, good luck on your mission.
Gotcha.
And no tortas on the way there. Just make it straight to the wall, okay? Go get him, Chenna.
What up, Rick G? Rick G agrees as well.
Doors are locked, doors are closed.
Yeah, I've skated in front of that one before.
So they realized. They're no joke with the things.
What happened in there?
No, nothing.
This is an anti-Scientology doco by this guy Tommy G. Everyone told me to watch it. Got 4 million views 2 weeks ago, but I'm somewhat enjoying, but I'm a little bit critical of it.
Close the doors.
Did you see him close the doors?
No.
They already had him closed.
They already had him closed.
This is Dre. He's one of the editors on my team and has been with us for a few months cranking out videos. In making this piece, we found out that he actually had joined Scientology for about a week. Here's what we learned from him.
I'm Dre and I almost joined Scientology. It was back in 2020 that I took a trip out to LA.
What?
Being in the area.
How do you join in 2020?
Tom Cruise talking about Scientology. So it was one of those stops I wanted to do. I was just on a regular touristy trip. I was looking at the stars, and then they got people in suits always just walking down and forth closer to the Scientology building. So that's where they got me. Initially, when you go into that building, they have their showroom. So that first half that I stepped into was the museum part. And they have posters, TVs, small little like segments of like who they are. And then once you go into the back room, it looks more
shout out the back rooms.
An office, but like higher end office. They have their cubicles. They'll bring you into one of their cubicles and start talking to you. It felt like therapy. The whole time they're very personal. So they're always looking at you. It feels like they actually want to get to know you. We were in there for, I would want to say like 4 hours. They emphasized me coming back, and they kept on saying like, oh, well, how long are you here till? You know, could you come back tomorrow? We can like do more things. So they took me from the initial consultation, I'm gonna call it, and then they pitched me the, well, you know, we think you'd benefit from this first seminar, which is this book right here. I got this book during that seminar. So if someone was
he bought the book?
They showed us videos.
Bro, why?
We talked about it. They made
what
us,
is he
like,
doing?
write. So it was a full blown, you're interacting with the person teaching us and
bro, why? Honestly, like any religion, any self-help, anything, for you to get me to buy the book is almost an impossible task. Like, I will never buy it. I'm so unwilling to hear you out. Like, not just religion, but just in general, any kind of book like that. Why is somebody buying it?
And then the videos they're showing us.
In 2020.
Like, did you ever return to Scientology?
I never went back, but I know that I continuously get emails and I still get letters sent to me.
What the heck? See, like, this is where my mind goes, guys. I'm a content creator too, right? And I am making a video exposing Scientology. All right, we'll interview some prominent ex-Scientologists. We'll go to a few prominent Scientology buildings. We'll get kicked out. Oh, you know what else would be a good thing? Why don't we tell a story of someone that we kind of know almost joining? That would be pretty captivating. I maybe question, was that even real? I think that might have been fake, to be honest. Because from a filmmaker's point of view, great thing to add. Oh yeah, this guy almost joined and he didn't. And we know him too. That's a perfect thing to add in the YouTube video. But like, he had the book. How hard is it to go buy a book? I'm not saying that it is definitely fake, but I'm saying like, if I was making a YouTube video that I wanted to make it fake, I might add something like that for sure. That's relatively captivating. Maybe he considered buying the book and then they just said he bought it for this. Paid actors. I don't know. I'm not questioning this guy's journalistic integrity. I'm just thinking about it.
Interacting with the person teaching us, and then the videos are. I never went. Still get.
Because I kind of find it hard to believe that in 2020 someone he knew went and bought a book. I think that's pretty unlikely, to be honest. But think about it. Everyone at Braille and stuff, like all of the guests that have ever come through Braille, anyone I've ever interacted with related to Braille, no one's ever bought the book. You know what I mean? There's like thousands of people.
Is that Jennifer?
Jennifer.
Crosshauer. She's like their main.
I just pull up to their word.
That is Jennifer.
That is Jennifer. Should we talk to her?
Tried to.
It could have been before they hired. Yeah, well, that's how I was saying that it was before, but I still just find the story like pretty unlikely.
It is Jennifer Crosskopf. Should we talk to her?
Tried to.
The lady William spotted is Jennifer Crosskopf. She is Scientology's chief legal officer, even though it's unclear if she even has
What
a
a nice
license
name,
to practice
Jennifer.
law. She's the one in charge of things like getting restraining orders on protesters and personally signing all legal documents between the church and the city of Los Angeles. We jump out on foot to try and speak with her. Jennifer, can we talk to you a little bit? How's the Sea Org treating you? We can help you get out if you want to. Jenny!
Stay off the property, you're trespassing.
Where's the start?
Nope.
Where is
can you tell me
she?
the line is?
Private property. Let's go. Let's go. Get out of the property. You're trespassing.
Yeah, get the fuck out. Get out.
Don't push
You're
them.
trespassing.
Where's the line?
Okay.
Where's the line?
Pepper spray. Now you get out or I'm gonna use it.
That seems like a crime.
Yes, go ahead, report it.
That's a little pussy move.
See, that was easy.
A real man wouldn't need pepper spray. I would love to see the inside. Has any footage really been captured on the inside?
Through the windows, but every time we film through the windows, they try to prosecute.
Homie had a similar experience, but
no
didn't
windows
buy.
open, right? Shades are down everywhere.
So with the internet, it's almost impossible for them to recruit.
Yeah.
Before the internet, when information wasn't exposed, it was a cool hip Hollywood thing. All the LA people were doing it. Monkey see, monkey do. But that ship has sailed.
Yeah, the Celebrity Center, the reason they bought
How did they? What's up with this street?
Monkey
you
see,
see
monkey
this
do.
street? L. Ron Hubbard Way. I don't know if you can read that, but the street says L. Ron Hubbard Way. How does that work? Do they buy that from the city, or did they buy the name from the city? Like, what's the deal? Is that their private road? I think I can drive on L. Ron Hubbard Way. You can make a video where you try to infiltrate Scientology buildings. They're in with the city? Not really. They just splash cash occasionally. But I'm curious how that actually works, though. I watched the thing where the mayor was endorsing them. I thought that was absolutely disgusting that she got voted in. I thought that was big fried.
That ship has sailed.
Yeah, the Celebrity Center, the reason they bought the Celebrity Center is that was going to be their main recruiting spot. That's where all the stars are going to come hang out, and you know what? I want to be part of that. That's cool. And they give acting classes there for free? Hell yeah, I want to go there. Little do you know, it's not really an acting class. You're just being recruited in. But now,
yeah, that's what I want to do. Acting class and go into the propaganda extra videos.
What was the moment that drove you to the point where you said, I gotta get out of here?
It's hard to just say one moment because so many things happened throughout my life. So many things that were horrible, so many things that should have been the moment. But it was after a period of time where I had been on a Scientology mission that was in an area where it wasn't as so rigid as the base that I had returned to after, where they weren't letting people sleep. They were like, if you were to fall asleep during an L. Ron Hubbard lecture, they would make you they would first embarrass you in front of everybody by screaming at you, and then they would make you scrub the dumpster with a toothbrush, and we weren't having any time off at all. So it was just getting more and more strict.
What made your parents leave?
They were at Scientology's international management base, and so they were witness to a lot of things that were going on there, including my uncle David Miscavige, who's the leader of Scientology, like physically beating staff.
Like punching him?
Yeah, like punching in the face. And my parents themselves were separated from each other for many, many years.
This is a loaded question, but do you feel robbed of your childhood?
Yeah, actually I do often feel that way. I mean,
yeah,
I don't
that would be a hard thing for me to accept.
Being angry at it all the time. There was a period when I first came out of Scientology when I was angry at certain things that happened, but honestly, once I became a mom, I actually started to get a little bit more angry about my childhood because I didn't know.
What's your prediction about the future of Scientology?
These stories of how Scientology treats children are going to come out more and more, and people are going to be disgusted by them. So I feel like the more stories that come out into the public, the more, whether it's a legal battle that takes them down or just like a public relations or both, it's like nobody will join. They'll eventually be bled dry, and hopefully they have some legal battles that they lose as well, and it all comes together.
To show you how full
I don't think they would die just by less and less people joining, because they do have like amassed so much wealth over time in like the buildings and in all the stuff. I think what's more likely is there'll be some kind of like break in the case. The Aaron Smith Levin guy is actively like following all the court cases and stuff. I believe the Miscavige dude is in some kind of big case where like he actually might get some like really harsh penalties or whatever. So like I think it's more likely that there'll be some kind of big event that will like lead to everything starting to collapse or whatever. I don't think that it will just fizzle out. I feel like the fizzling will take too long. But it does seem like internet age really did kill it. So anytime people hate on the internet age, remember that that's what is making Scientology decline.
of lies and manipulation this church is, just check out this 911 call they made on us.
Hey, Northeast Unit 45966, just left 1306 Elron Hubbard Way, Church of Scientology. CPR can direct to suspects 45, no whites, no further suspect vehicle.
They claimed we burglarized the church and fled the scene in a rental car. Here is us saying hello to the LAPD when they reported to the scene.
They're pointing at us. You want to pull up and talk to them?
Wait, that was on them? I was gonna say, what a funny call. Fled in a Honda Accord.
No whites, no further suspect vehicle.
They claimed we burglarized the church and fled the scene in our rental car. Here is us saying hello to the LAPD when they reported to the scene.
They're pointing at us. You want to pull up and talk to them?
Hey there!
Missed the entire
So apparently the LAPD showed up to the scene.
Yeah, just park right here and just walk up.
Give my regards to Xenu, okay? Thank you. One thing to question.
See you again. Are they driving a white Honda Accord, or was this just like an unrelated thing? 13 days ago. See, like, why are they screen recording it 13 days ago? Guys, I can't help but the mind wanders, you know? If this was a screen recording of this thing, wouldn't this say like 1 day ago, 2 days ago? Why would they say 13 days ago?
966 just left 1306.
And like, damn, I'm really coming at this guy. My content creator senses make it seem like they just recorded randomly seeing the police here, and they just randomly filmed them seeing the police, and then later they read about this, and then they edited it together.
Hubbard Way, Church of Scientology. CPR can direct to suspects 45, no whites.
Nah, this is an app. I think this is the Citizen app. I sometimes use it here. If you live in America, you probably know about it. But it will tell you all the crimes going on around you. And if something really bad's happening, it'll like notify you. It'll be like, mass shooting on your next block. Don't go there.
No further suspect vehicle.
They claimed we burglarized the church and fled the scene in our rental car.
Interior does not look like Honda in pause scene. Let me see again. Okay, so it was white Honda Accord. And let's really watch this part with the information of, are they fleeing the police, or was this random filming seeing police at Church of Scientology?
Suspect vehicle.
They claimed we burglarized the church and fled the scene in our rental car. Here is us saying hello to the LAPD when they reported to the scene.
They're pointing at us.
They're pointing at us?
Hey there!
Missed the entire
So apparently the LAPD showed up to the scene.
Yeah, just park right here and just walk
It's
up.
Civic, not Accord.
Give my regards to Xenu, okay? Thank you. One thing to question is this. When there are repeated calls to a location like there is with Scientology, typically a city will label the property a nuisance property, which means the property in question must correct their issues or face legal action from the city. So why is it that Scientology can blatantly lie, allegedly, and disproportionately use city resources without repercussions? And keep in mind they are doing this as an entity that does not even pay taxes.
I don't know if I'm like really questioning this scenario. I think they just drove past, randomly saw the police, and filmed it.
One thing to question is this: when there are repeated
But
calls,
yeah, Scientology does always call, like what they GR said, they do call and say something different to get the cops to come faster. They probably do stuff like that for sure.
like there is with Scientology,
I'm just thinking if
typically a
the
city will
journalistic
label the
integrity
property
is
a nuisance property, which
being
means the
upheld.
property in question must correct their issues or face legal action from the city. So why is it that Scientology can blatantly lie, allegedly, and disproportionately use city resources without repercussions? And keep in mind they are doing this as an entity that does not even pay taxes.
All right, folks, that was a look into the world of Scientology. If you'd like to see more of William's stuff, his Instagram and YouTube is tagged in the description. Thank you guys for joining me on this journey. Don't join a cult. We'll see you next week. And my final thoughts is I send my regards to David Miscavige. Peace.
Folks, after seeing all this, you might be wondering a few things. Like, number one, why in the fuck has the FBI not kicked down this place's door, raided them, and gotten everyone responsible for child neglect and the other insane
This guy's not a
behaviors
journalist.
allegedly arrested? The other thing that comes to mind is how in the God's green earth is this place tax exempt after amassing a multi-$100 million real estate portfolio? I guess I'm gonna start my own religion so I can get rich too. Folks, I don't have all of these answers, but what I do know is this: if you send me other leads to cults, churches, people that need investigating, I will go boots on the ground. So send me leads to TommyGMcGee123@gmail.com and I will report for duty. Love you guys, fuck Scientology, and see you next week.
That was a fun video. Shout out to Tommy G. That was cool to see. But the way people are telling me to watch this is like, oh my god, it's the craziest video ever. It shows everything. I feel like it was kind of like surface level, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, it was good. I enjoyed watching it. It's always fun to see, but I don't think this was the needle that breaks the haystack or whatever. Not everyone is as deep as Rick, LOL. Yeah, I mean, but it's you know, there's infinite videos of people just getting kicked out of Scientology. It's not that interesting, I feel like. Everyone knows they're secretive, everyone knows what they're doing, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. It was like way too clustered, no direction except messing with people. Yeah, like, it didn't even really explain that much about Scientology, to be honest. Gotta see what I said on Discord now, LOL. I don't think I simped the video. No, I mean, I think it's good to watch it. Anything that's getting this much attention, like, hell yeah, I'm down. But a few different people told me to watch it, Mike. What did I want to check right now? Oh yeah, let's do something in ChatGPT. Everyone often talks about the tax exempt. I was under the impression that it's not that hard to make up your own religion and get tax exempt. It's just you have to meet the criteria of being a religion, I think. Should we see what ChatGPT says?